We should be live right now.
E.
Okay, let's go.
We're
Yeah, let's go. We're live.
Hey everyone. Good afternoon to everyone out there. We are back again on Black Buzz. Another Monday. I know a lot of people don't look forward towards Monday, but whenever you're coming off the weekend, all types of things people say happens on the weekend. So nobody wants to face Monday. But when you're going through the pandemic, you don't have to worry about that anymore. A lot of people are doing things from home now. But good to have you. Of course, it's KP here, and we have Miss Shay. What's that thing underneath your name? Is it ENT again? Oh yes.
Twice Blessed Entertainment, myself and my daughter.
BB Entertainment, yes, Miss. For all your musical needs, hit her up. If you want a connection with somebody in the music business, more than likely she can put you on. She has direct links as well. Or if you want her services, she's more than willing to assist and to help. And you can talk about the particulars. right, Miss Shay?
Yeah,
all the direct deposit information. You have Mr. Lamar. He is the tech man. Many things that we're doing on here, if it wasn't for Lamar, it wouldn't be possible, or it would be slow in coming. Right? Always good to have Lamar on. We have another person that's a part of the team, but she's not here right now. Her name is Tia, aka T Kicks. For all your shoe customization needs, just hit her up. Right? She is more than willing to answer you and respond to whatever your needs are. Check her out on Instagram, check her out T-Kicks, check her out on Facebook, check her out on YouTube. She is good and ready to go. And today we have, for our guest, our special guest, we have Mr. Wright, Mr. Andre Wright. Well, let me read your bio here. And then we'll jump in. Andre and Anthony Marcel Wright, so are a father and son duo like no other. They've created a story based on their relationship that depicts both their bond and love for one another. Although Andre was raised without a father, he is dedicated to his son, on Anthony Marcel. Their initiative is to inspire the next generation and the current one. All right, amen to that. To instill morality, unity, and love through all extensions of the Ryan Lion brand. We believe the children are our future. Welcome, Mr. Wright. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
You're on Black Buzz, right?
Yeah.
In the queue up, we're talking about Black Buzz, and we're unapologetic on here, right?
Yes.
We bring Black people on here.
Yes.
And whatever Black people is into, or they're in, and they're helping the community. Of course, they're doing their part in progressing themselves as well.
Yes.
Right. But in terms of just building up our community and talking about some of the things that you mentioned, the bio, love, unity, and all these different things, man. That's what we try to do. We want to show love to our people, and we don't apologize for it. And this is a forum where we talk openly, freely, and we're gonna get into all those things when it comes to you as an author or anything else that you want to tell us about.
Yeah, 100%. I'm in. I'm in.
You're a brother. You're a father. And you're proud to be a dad. You're an author.
Yes.
All right. So, I could, in terms of listening to you talk, just sort of, before we came on and even now, I hear a slight accent. Where are you from originally?
Well, I'm from Canada, but my background is Jamaican. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Easy, Shay. Just smile. Don't worry about it.
No. I am not joining in your bandwagon. I'll be the one Trinidadian in the place.
Ironically, my co-author, my son, he's Trinidadian as well.
That's how we do it. That's how we do it.
You had to get us somehow. It's all right.
Yes.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Oh my gosh.
So, give us a little bit of your background, before we jump into the book. Tell us a little bit about Andre.
Background. Okay, so me and you discussed like some of where we came from. So like originally, came from Rexdale, grew up, raised with my grandparents and my mother, single parent home. I have a background in business administration, business marketing. I graduated from Humber College with those diplomas. Also in graphic design, branding, all that, the various aspects of marketing and advertising. I currently, last year, I actually wanted to change careers, and I went to go train to become a firefighter. So unfortunately, I tore my Achilles tendon during training, so that got postponed. And then after surgery and everything like that, COVID-19, so I wasn't able to go back. But even being a part in that world for the limited time that I was, there was such a need, there's such a void for the diversity, and it's incredible to see. Well, it's kind of disheartening to see that, oh my goodness. But when I look back into my own upbringing and understanding, this wasn't even a thought. A lot of times the agenda is pushed to become a lawyer, a doctor, and stuff like that. But there are so many aspects of things you can do. Being an entrepreneur is amazing, and you can do so much. So it's so incredible to see now everybody kind of picking up the torch of, I love doing this, so I'm going to try to make this approach towards entrepreneurship. The whole going back to the whole firefighting aspect of things. It's incredible because it's I've always had a heart for wanting to help people and being an example and being an inspiration, especially towards my community, especially towards my own kind. And becoming a father, that torch even got brighter because I see my little son. He's just like me in so many ways. You know what I mean? And it's just kind of to inspire him to kind of be whatever he wants to be. So quick story where I'd go pick him up from school and I'd be wearing my firefighter uniform, and he would like, his friends would run up to me, "Are you a firefighter? Are you a firefighter?" And I didn't even have to say anything. My son would probably come up and be like, "Yeah, my dad's a firefighter." So it's those things where you look back and you're just like, man, there's such a void of like, these examples of Black men being in different things. We don't have to be doctors. We don't have to be lawyers. We don't have to be rappers or drug dealers. This is usually the case. We could be engineers. We can be poets. We can be authors. We can do. So there's so many things we can do. We are incredible. We are amazing. So no more pigeonholed in, like now, the slogan for the whole Ryan Line thing, I know as cliche as it is we do believe the children are our future, and it's that aspiration that we work towards to kind of show them and be that example that you can do anything you put your mind to. Right. So sorry, again, I think I fell off course there talking about myself, but who I am as an individual.
I was gonna piggyback off of what you said in terms of the educational aspect. Why didn't you, or maybe you're utilizing what you did in school?
Yes.
As far as being an author and all those different things, but why didn't you press in that direction?
So I've been within the industry for a decade, working for various industries, and I've always known since I was a child that I was going to own my own, right? So I wanted to learn what that meant. So that's why I went to the business direction. Okay. I was like learning how businesses work and stuff like that. But then being creative as well, I wanted to learn how to create things, because being able to physically see it from your own hands is something that's amazing. But I found that business world is so cold, and it's just like, that's not who I am. To become this person, you have to kind of push a narrative that you might not want to push, and then pushing someone else's agenda. It's just like, if I were to place those efforts and that energy towards my own thing, where I'm controlling the narrative and I'm setting the pace or the message that I want to relay is being relayed through my ideologies and stuff, why not do that? And it's a big risk, obviously, but it's worth it at the end of the day. So thus far, doing the Ryan Line book, again, something that I never really imagined myself doing. it's just like it's coming together as a whole. I'm understanding, and again, I'm a man of God, so the Christian aspect of things, where it's like God kind of placed this on me, where this is what you're gonna do, and this is how you're gonna touch people and reach people, and the feedback that I've been receiving, from the children that don't even like reading, can relate to the character. You have this cute little lion cub on here. With a fro, and it's just like, oh my God, like he has a fro, like, and then the people that are reading the end of the story where the father comes out. Literally, I was doing an interview a few months ago during the pandemic, and she's the narrator. She started crying while she was reading the book because her relationship with her father is like, so it's so real. So like she felt it, and the emotion is there, the sentiment's there, because that is, the book at the end of it, it's kind of like my promise to my son. I think it's any parent's promise to their child at the end of the day, to always be there for their child.
I saw Shay, you had a question?
Yeah. So Ryan Lyon, your name, your son's name, how we get Ryan?
Right? It rhymed. It's
right,
funny.
exactly. Typical young man. Typical young man.
It rhymed. So it's funny. Okay, so like again, I wasn't in the initial industry of writing children's book or anything like that, but I felt like God was pushing me towards this. He's like, you're gonna create something for you and your son to have, because I read to my son at nighttime. So it allowed us to bond through that reading. And then for him to be able to read to me or read along with, we read together. It's been great. But one of the most best moments was when he was able to read our book. So it was one of those things that happened. But like the book, it rhymes, by the way. Again, like I've never written a book before, so it's like the book rhymes. I was like, what am I gonna name him? And it's like Ryan Lyon. I was like, that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like that just makes sense. And then from there, we go through the book, because again, like from the marketing aspect of things, it's a balance, right? So it's a balancing both business and creative. So it's a balancing. So Ryan is a generic name that could reach the public in so many ways. The character himself, he has Afrocentric characteristics, but the name is kind of like, oh, okay, you could put it, wherever on any shelf, and be like, okay, it's relatable. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's why. But bottom line is it rhymes.
So which one did you think of first, the name or the animal it goes with?
Oh yeah, it was definitely going to be a lion. I think
Why
it was the name. I think it's the name. Well, we know. Come on, we Black people. We already know the king of the jungle.
They're laughing because when I was there, I haven't set up the office here yet in the US.
Yeah.
But in my office, whenever they walked in, I'm a pastor, by the way. So whenever they walked into my office, there's a huge picture of a lion.
I'm telling you. Black people especially love lions, so we know the representation of it, right? So that's what I want. I want the children to be represented as that, because understanding that the lion is the king of the jungle, right? It's kind of like it's a bit of an Inception kind of thing, where it's just like, it's a lion. It's a black king. That's basically what we're saying at the end of the day.
Conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. All right.
Yes.
Don't encourage him.
My goodness.
So what was the turning point for you to say, you know what? Because I know we were open in February, March is when we shut down. What was that one thing that made you say, you know what, I'm going to do this book? What triggered it?
So the book was actually produced already, literally just before the pandemic. I was going to do a physical launch of the book. I had it all set up and everything, and the date was set, flyers were sent out, and then boom, the pandemic hit. And then it was so disheartening because I was like, oh man, I'm like, God, come on, you said to do the book, and here I am. It was
that setup was okay.
Yeah. So it was literally, I think it was just a week before, and then the guy, a friend of mine, shout out to Kofi's, I don't know if he's been watching this, but a friend of mine, he's like, yo, we're closing down the center, so we can't do your launch. I'm like, oh man. But thank God for my cousin. Again, and I'm going to say this because it's really important who you have in your circle. You know, you went around, you were telling me about your people here, and it's really important who you have around your circle. So I remember talking to my cousin. Shout out to Adam the Apprentice. I don't know if he's gonna see this, but but he was like,
You'll get a
yo,
chance to
listen.
shout out. Don't worry.
Yeah, he's like, yo, launch the book. I'm like, how am I gonna launch the book? Well, why would I launch the book? Like, no one's gonna see it. I want to do, you know, you have your mindset on one thing. The quarantine hit. He's like, this is the perfect time because everyone's at home. They're not doing anything, you know. So do it. This is exactly how he explained to me, and I was like, and I was still kind of skeptical. I was like, man, because in your head you have it perfect, like table set up. My son's there. We're signing autographs. People, you know, the whole thing. But then I launched the book. We sold out within, I think it was 24 hours. We sold out 100 copies in 24 hours. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy. Okay. Then we ordered some more. Sold out again. It was either 24 hours or 72 hours, one of the two again. And it was just like, whoa, this is nuts. And we never had any physical, anything like a physical presentation of it. It was just kind of, people were just like, we want to support. This is amazing. This is awesome. And yeah, and we're still going. We're still doing our thing. Then I decided I wanted to kind of create something to kind of associate with the whole movement again, the Ryan line, every extension. So came up with an apparel line. You go on the site, and it's like the Ryan line Inspirational Apparel. So it takes segments from the book to kind of represent, you know, like this particular shirt. This is like the hide and seek shirt, and on the back it takes a scripture from the book to kind of just what the Father says. It's like the Father's promise kind of thing at the back. Right. And then there's other elements that like kind of just invoke teaching your kids to, you know, you're Jamaican, so you understand, like my grandmother used to tell me walk with purpose. You know what I mean? Anytime I drag my feet, my grandma used to say walk with purpose. I never understood what that meant, but now I do. Yeah, there's the website right there. And you see the joggers, you know, speak no evil, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. You have the Dad's Promise, Together We Can. That T-shirt was created to in light of the George Floyd stuff. So it's just that stuff where you look at the back of the T-shirts, you'll see that I don't know if you can see the back of that. You'll see like the inspirational stuff that on the back of there. There's one that kind of invokes Ryan Lyon. How's it go? Ryan Lyon. I am with purpose or something like that, where it says on the back of her shirt, it kind of depicts I am this, I am love, I am kindness, I am brave, all this stuff. And it says Ryan Lyon, I am purpose, like I'm purpose to be here or something like that. Right. Yeah, and so it's the whole brand we're trying to cultivate to kind of inspire kids, to inspire adults to do more, to kind of work with their children, because, you know, it's important that we instill these values, especially during the time that we're in right now, where, you know, if you don't believe in something, you'll fall for anything. And, you know, the way how this world is, where, you know, the ethics, morality is just kind of like, if you don't follow the mass on something, then it becomes hateful, or you don't know what you're talking about, et cetera, et cetera. And it's just one of those things that are toxic. And it's good to kind of equip your children with a knowledge that, like, no, wrong is wrong. Period. There's no in between. It's wrong, you know? Right. And instilling that it's okay if people don't like you, you know, that if they don't like you due to some of your ethics and morality, that's fine. You don't need them. You know what I mean? And instilling their own personal identity, especially a lot of the times, you know, as a single parent, or even people that don't have their father or mother, or whatever the case may be, we're all looking for that form, that identity, right? So it's building that foundation on, there it is. That's the one right there. I am fearless. I am Ryan Lyon, meant with a purpose, something like that. So it's, I lost my train of thought here. It's building that foundation. It's instilling those values and morality into the children from the base, from the jump. So, you know, when you see a little girl and she walks like she knows where she's going and what she's doing, she's not pushy. You know, she's a boss. You know what I mean? She's a queen. And those are the things that we have to kind of instill. When you see your son, you know, sticking up for somebody, or, you know, you say that's what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? I'd rather you tell the truth and be honest, or not follow the pack if they're going to be all jumping off a bridge or drink the Kool-Aid, the proverbial Kool-Aid. I'd rather you say, no, that's not for me. My mom, my dad wouldn't appreciate me doing that. That's not who I am. So that's kind of the initiative.
Give me 1 second. There.
No problem.
Oh, you're muted. Shay, you're muted.
So as you said in your bio, you weren't raised with your dad, but your goal is to be super dad now. So how, because of what you've been through,
yeah,
and what you're doing now,
mm-hmm.
is that reflected in the book in a big scale or in a smaller scale?
That's exactly what I wanted to ask, in terms of, because you're describing the contents, and I just wanted you to go into a little bit more details in terms of the specific lessons. And also, you know, of course, it's influenced by your own upbringing, your own background, some of the things that you've seen, you know, but, you know, just the specifics of, you know, those lessons
itself?
and.
Or my own personal the personal lessons that I've had to. Yeah. Okay.
Well, no, I was connecting the fact that your own experience definitely influenced.
Yes,
right?
100%.
So, and you know, it's written with your son, and of course, he's a huge part of your influence and your inspiration. So it's those specific lessons, especially coming from a Black background, that you're trying to instill in him.
Yes.
Or or kids in general.
Yeah. So this book has like kind of a double meaning. Okay. So on the surface is very simple. It's very simple. A father's promise to his child. Okay. That I will always be there for him. And you know, the way how the child.
Right. And what does that, you know, that particular point.
So that I'm gonna get, you're gonna like, I think you might appreciate this. So it's kind of growing up without a father.
Right.
I still have my heavenly father. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So
I get.
It was one of those things where, as you know, we read this and everyone says, "Oh, this is your relationship with you and your son." It's like, yeah, but this is also a relationship with me and my God. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. Like, he comes out of nowhere in the story. He comes out of nowhere during a time of like where Ryan Lyon is like, "I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I can't find you anywhere." And the father shows up at that perfect time and says, "I'm right here. I've always been here. I'm never going anywhere. And I will always be there." And it's that promise that I make to my son. And that's the promise that I've experienced throughout my entire life with God. That's the best way I could really put it. Because like during the, you know, growing up in Rexdale, you understand, you know, the things that you face, the dangers, the choices you have to make, and stuff like that. Put you in these places where you put you in certain situations where you know you shouldn't be. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be in these certain situations, and you know in your heart that's not who you are, right? So it's one of those things where that's why I go back to the whole building of the foundation, where you make choices, you choose your friends, you choose your circle, because essentially that's what's gonna make you. You know, being surrounded by entrepreneurs, you're gonna be an entrepreneur. You have to. You're gonna move in that way. You know, being surrounded by thugs and stuff like that, you're most likely going to move in that direction, right? So this book is it's deep in the sense that when I explained that part to people, it's like, oh, you know, for people that didn't grow up without a father, it touches them because it touches them in a weird way, because they never had that, you know, you never had your father's love, and that's one of the hardest things for myself. I'll speak for myself. I can't speak on everybody else. Was knowing how much I love my son, and then not having my father to love me that way. You know what I mean? To be there for me to fight, to train, or, you know, talk about my first girlfriend, or, you know, how should I deal with this situation? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So I leave myself vulnerable for these, especially for these moments, because I hope it helps someone to understand that it's okay. You know what I mean? You're going to be fine, because, you know, what happens is we utilize the things, the pains, the traumas, whatever the case may be, and it could become something else. It could become your story. It is your story, and your story is beautiful at the end of the day. It's what you make of it. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, I mean, It does, and I just wanted you to, for those who
collaborate
have
on it.
who are hearing about you for the first time, or they're going through something right now, and they've been down that road, but just to hear something like that, somehow it would encourage them.
Hopefully.
What's the testimonials like? Say that
From
again. Sorry.
no, yeah, I'm just saying what you were saying.
Oh, okay. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
The testimonials, I know that people sometimes will buy to support because, a black brother doing something like this.
Yeah.
Yes, let's support him, and I'm all for that too.
Mhm.
But in terms of, what are some of the things that people say to you personally, like as far as what they've read in the contents and all that of that
Like
book?
it's sort of like like some of the negative stuff. Like what do you mean? Like
No,
some
not necessarily negative. Well, if you want to share some negatives, that's fine.
it
But
was
I'm just talking about, some feedback.
right. The feedback that I've received has been impeccable. Like it's been amazing. It's all been honestly, it's all been good because even the criticisms where it doesn't have nothing to do with the content and has the content or the illustrations or anything. It has nothing to do with that. It's more kind of like more like the quality of paper, like for the books, stuff like that. Like certain qualities, levels of the book and stuff like that that they want to be enhanced, which is fine. Which is like, yeah, you're absolutely right. Once again, you're starting from this. You have a budget. So it's like you're working with what you got, and then the next one's going to be like, oh, but the content, the story, illustration, everything. Everyone's like, there's all kinds of testimony. One of my favorites is, Kyson Lewis, where the parents were telling me, oh, he made us read the book through him like 3-4 times in a night, and he makes us do it like every night. You know what I mean? So it's like stuff like that where the kids are like, yeah, Ryan Lyon. I remember a friend of mine, she was doing a class interview, or she was doing her classroom online, and she's like, okay, kids, go grab your favorite book. And then a kid came out of nowhere and came out with Ryan Lyon Hide and Seek. And she called me, she's like, oh my God, I don't think you know what just happened. Some kid just random said that Ryan Lyon is his favorite book. So it was like, whoa, and then to be able to share that with my son, I don't think he understands the magnitude of how amazing that is. But at the same time, it's still something that's like, okay, we're working towards the right goal. We're on the right path. But yeah, other than that, it's all been good. Like it's all been amazing.
Okay, so the major book retailers in Canada, what was their how was the approach and how was the transition? Are you able to sell in them? Are they giving you a little backlash? Are they looking at you as like, who's this young black man out of nowhere? What's happening?
So the whole process of creating the book was, again, it was kind of strenuous at some points because so originally I've gone with a publishing company. They wanted thousands of dollars to produce the book, to create the book, and they were going to do marketing and do all kinds of things, which was great. Okay, so a few months in, I didn't even receive a doodle, not a line, not a draw, not a bubble. I've answered all these surveys. I broke down the whole book in its entirety. Then I said enough is enough. We got into an argument in regards to some of the things that the contractual obligations that they promised me originally to what they were fulfilling, which was nothing. So then I said, okay, I broke ties. I got back my money, and then I utilized my own abilities to kind of produce the book myself. It was a process to find an illustrator. It was a process. It was so discouraging. Boom, boom, boom. I'm like, okay, let's try this. Let's try this person. Let's try that. Finally, I came across this woman, amazing illustrator, all of the artists, messaged her on Instagram, said if she'd be able to do it. Her prices were affordable. Her illustrations were amazing. She did it, and then the book came to life. And it was just one of those things where it's like, oh my goodness. But again, my background in web design, I created my own website. What you see is the creation of my own web design. And I created it, and I'm just selling it myself. I've reached out to a few publishers, still waiting for them to come back, like Scholastics. Shout out to Scholastics. Kind of, I mean, growing up, I grew up on Scholastic books, so like to have that on there, to be a part of their roster would be amazing. Would be a new dream come true. But the process has been kind of crazy. I've had people reach out to me after the book's been produced and ask me, and what I think is it's easier when you know someone that's been through it, and it's harder when you don't. So you have to do all the research yourself. So I'm glad to be able to help people kind of find their way on how to do it. Any resources, any kind of feedback or experience I could share with them has been good.
Have you approached places like
Ryan,
Indigo or those type of things? Can we find stuff there, or is it still a work in process?
We're still a work in progress. Still a work in
Okay.
progress. Yeah. There's another store, like a black owned store that sells black owned books that I want to get into. It's just because due to COVID-19, a lot of things have been kind of delayed, and like even delivery. Like um, I have a shipment coming right now that I've been waiting on for a while now. So it's like stuff like that. So it's filling those orders at this point,
Mhm.
um, because like again, I want to make sure our brand as a whole, all aspects, all infrastructures of it are working systematically unified. So I don't want to have the book here, book ready, and I'm promoting, and then people are waiting for their books, which has been the issue, you know, uh, for the most part. So like getting into Indigo and stuff like that is going to be another process. Again, it's building up my reputation to be able to approach them, right? So it's doing things like this, where it's like, okay, this guy's actually he's here, he's doing stuff, you know. So
yeah. Hold that book up again. And I know we showed it up, but I want you to hold that book. There it is, folks. We're talking to Mr. Andre Wright, right? And that's his book, Ryan Lion, Hide and Seek. I love looking at it with that afro. Eh?
right? I got a funny story. So I remember this is a good one. I remember when I was looking for illustrators, and I told him what I wanted, et cetera, et cetera. So his stuff wasn't good. So he got mad. He became petty. He's like, "Oh, just to let you know, little lion cubs don't have froze, don't have manes until like they become mature." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure they don't actually walk and talk either." You know what I mean? Like walk and talk. But here we are, you know. Have a good day. You know, it's just like it's like that, right? A lot of people, I think, a lot of the kids can relate to him. A lot of kids, like even my son. The character is actually based on my son. I wish I had a picture with me right now, but this is how he basically looked when he was a kid. He had a massive fro that was like, that's actually him as a child. So you know, the characters depict are based on us, the things that we would say or what we would do, but the actual character himself is based on the co-author Anthony Marcel Wright. So he's like oh, they're wearing one of my t-shirts. That's me. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's funny.
Okay, so like him being the co-author and you're like it's based off of your son. Maybe I'm just trying to get a little bit more detail, or I'm thinking of this too deep. So when you get that idea, or what do you just run to find a piece of paper, jot it down? You got your phone, a notepad or something,
Yes,
like
it's in my phone. Yeah, it's in my phone because I go, like you're sitting down and you're just like, literally, I'm going through the story in my head. Ryan Lion, hide and seek. Okay, how's it gonna go? 1, 2, skip a few, 99, 100. Ready or not, here I come. And then I'm just like flowing. I'm like, okay, and like, what's gonna rhyme with that? I'm like, okay, this makes sense. That makes sense. And it's just like, what is it that you're trying to say? And again, with my background within marketing and advertising, it's you have the client may have a message. We want people to come buy their stuff. We just want to get them to do it. And then we cultivate as marketing, and we cultivate it to a word where it's easy for people to relate. Like, let's just say, just do it. That's Nike. You know what I mean? So it's just turning the articulate into a creative and more imaginative, something that's relatable to kids, where it's like, yes, it rhymes. It's cool. So yeah, and it's like I do piggyback off my son too, because like, if I wish he was here, because his personality it's Ryan Line, because it's things that he would say or things he would do or he has done. There are more stories, and like the things that he says are in the book, and the things how he responds to me and stuff like that. It's entertaining. People look at it sometimes, they're like, like, what did this kid just say? I'm like, yeah, that's my life. You know what I mean? So
all right, I'm not an author, so I had to ask that question. I mean, I write for different things, but but not necessarily putting a book together. So I always wonder, how does that idea and then you translate it to writing and all that.
Yeah, it's like you want to
Yeah,
say
man.
something, but it's like, how am I going to say it to match with the
Mhm.
brand? You know what I mean? So it rhymes,
Right.
so it has to rhyme.
So as a black
So,
father, sorry,
no, go ahead, go ahead.
black father, black son, you are an author. Does
Mhm.
does your son understand the significance of this type of legacy?
I don't think so. I don't think he fully, truly understands. I don't think he really understands yet. He's more into video games and he's in his own world. He's 8. You know, he just turned 8.
Oh,
So yeah, he's like more into like video games and stuff like that. He does like moments like this. He does have those moments where he's just like lit up where I'll show him a video of a kid reading his book or wearing his stuff, and he's like, "Whoa, that's pretty cool." But I think it goes over his head. He's like, "Okay, can we play Roblox now?" Is I don't think. I don't think it'll hit him until we get to that point where we actually come up with our own video game.
don't you understand, son?
Yeah, right. The significance and stuff. So,
Because,
but yeah, no, go ahead.
Because this is something it's a book. It's never going to die. Like 20, 30, 40 years, you'll be dead and gone, and somebody's still going to find this and it's going to have that importance. So, to other fathers out there, would you what would you say to them for them to get on that same wavelength? Like, because I know it's sad, but in the especially Caribbean Black community, we don't leave legacies for our family. We leave bills, and we leave our old house that needs to get fixed, and whoever fight. But but it's true. We don't have to say we something we handed down from generation to generation, and this is something that will continue carrying on, because you said now you're planning to do video games and you have merchandise, and this is huge. So I mean, for fathers out there, even moms, but I mean like fathers, black fathers out there looking at you, like what say something. I can't even.
What would I say to them?
Yes.
I would say to them, never quit. Because being a black father, and I know that I'm going to explain why I say never quit. Being a black father is not easy. Being a father in general is not easy, period. Being a parent is not easy, period. Right. But being a black father, you're not seen at all. You're not seen. I've gone to meetings and stuff like that when my son was first born, and they would literally look right through me. They wouldn't really talk with me, like converse with me or anything like that. They were just kind of like, yeah, they'll talk to his mother. And I'm just like, okay, I'm here too. You know what I mean? And that was quite frustrating. So when I say don't quit, I'm going to tell you one quick story where, it was frustrating because I didn't feel adequate as a father. Because it's like, okay, like they don't see me. I get these backhanded compliments from people. It's like, oh, you're a good father for a black man, like kind of thing, And then one day some nurses came to my house to visit his mother. And again, they didn't see me, they didn't talk to me or whatever. My son was probably maybe a little less than 1. He was crawling. So he's less than 1. And they were sitting down in the living room. I was in the kitchen washing dishes. And then he kept on going to his mother, going back and forth to me and his mother. So he would crawl to me, then crawl to her, then he'd crawl back to me, and I, like whatever. And going back, he would do that throughout the entire time. And I heard one of the nurses like go, wow, he really loves his father. Like he really loves his dad. And at that moment, I realized it doesn't matter what other people think. At the end of the day, it's frustrating when your child maybe call out to mom and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, as long as you don't quit, you can't be stopped. You know what I mean? So that love for your child is going to be there, and your child's going to realize, like, okay, even though I push this guy away, even in the social aspect of things, where people may say, oh, you're good for a black father. It's like, I don't need I don't need anything from you. It's like, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. And as frustrating as it may be sometimes, it's like, yeah, I'm still here. You can hate me, you can love me, whatever the case may be. And however you want to kind of illustrate that to someone. I know I do have another page called Dad's What We Do. And it kind of, again, focuses on black fathers, and they're doing such amazing things, coming out with books, animation, and other things that are really cool. So it's like, to be able to kind of, I don't want to say exploit, but be able to share that in any way, in any medium you choose to. I think for fathers, like, do it and don't quit. Don't quit on your relationship with your child. Don't quit on yourself and feeling inadequate at those moments where you may not be able to buy them the new PS5. It's okay. I'm telling you, kids remember more so you going to the park and playing catch with them as opposed to buying some things. I've had people call me up like, oh, you took him here. It's my son, only thing he wants to do is play, right? And we could play hide and seek in our apartment. And that to him is like, he's not gonna be like, oh yeah, my dad bought me a PS5 when I was 10, but he was never around to play with me. He's gonna remember my dad played hide and seek with me. He came home from work, he was tired, and we played for an hour, and then we made tacos. That's what he's gonna remember. That's what he's gonna take with him. So remember those moments. Remember those small things, those small victories, and yeah.
Yeah, I have a question. Looking back, now I know it's only been a couple of months, but like, is there anything you do differently in terms of the development of the book?
Yeah, I think I'd
Yeah,
probably invest a little bit more
yeah,
into the quality of the book. I mean, it's not a bad quality. But I'm not gonna say defunct up with the quality, but I think I
mhm,
would have put a little bit more, maybe made it a hardcover or something. You never know; it might become one. But like even as he was talking, it's like, yeah, this is gonna be outlive me, and hopefully my son will be able to read this to his son, and then it's like this is a book your great 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 grandfather wrote with your great 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 uncle or whatever, right? And it's just like maybe I should make it hardcover. That might last a little longer. So yeah, that's probably the only thing. I mean, due to COVID, I still want to experience the whole physical stuff where people are coming in and stuff like that, which is in the future. But yeah, that's basically the only thing I'd really change.
I like the plans, your projected plans. You're talking about animation. You want to get into all of that. I mean,
Oh,
you're
100%.
definitely.
There's actually an animation idea. Okay, so quick story. Okay, let me share this with you. So when I originally started this book, as you were talking about, asking before, when the stories came, I did it all in my phone. I wrote them all out on my phone, and I say
Right.
stories because there was more than one. And I'm telling you, like, of God, because I've never written a story before in my life, but I was writing the stories. Each one was again a depiction derived from my relationship with my son, the things and values I'm trying to instill in my son, the morality, ethics, and all those things, and the love that I share for him. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 stories came out of it. So I realized this story is here, and then the next story is, and I've even had to change. Book 2 is going to be an animation instead because it kind of depicts a certain ethics that kids can really learn from, and it's very short. So like a very short animation that I envision being shown in classrooms. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna read it. We put on Ryan Line, like just a very short. It could probably be like a minute or so
Right.
animation, just to kind of share with kids again. Like you have this kid, this cute cuddly character, and he's showing again, and again even with parents showing certain things that you should and should not do. And then yeah, of course,
Lessons,
pardon me,
life's lessons, teaching.
life lessons. It's exactly. And then animation, even like TV shows, like Clifford the Big Red Dog has been around forever. That's why I grew up. So to see him on TV is like, whoa, Clifford is on there. I can't remember what other book that became Llama Llama.
Yeah,
Llama
yeah.
Llama became an animation, and that book just came out that book came out probably going on like probably 9 years now because it came out around when my son came out. Captain Underpants, all these books turned animation, right? And don't even get me started on Harry Potter. you know,
Yeah.
that became a movement for some people. They cosplay and everything like that. It's like it's a thing, right? So to be able to use this medium as a form, we talk about the various aspects of what it can turn into, but we want to build a foundation of what it is. Where if you're wearing Ryan Lyon, if you're dressed up as Ryan Lyon, if you're watching Ryan Lyon, you're identifying as an individual that has ethics, morality, love, and all those aspects, and the life lessons, as you were saying, that wrong is wrong. Telling a lie is a lie. There's no half steps about it. And you walk with purpose, as my grandmother would say. You walk with purpose. So yeah.
Funny enough, when I saw the book, I instantly went back to the TV show I grew up called Between the Lions.
Oh, okay.
To teach you how to read, and they lived in the light. Well, they used to sneak into the library, and then they were always in there, and so
Yeah.
they pull out books, and then they'll go into this theme like that. Because this moment I saw it, that sent me back to that moment. Because I'm big on books. My
Yeah.
dog hates it, but I make her read anyways. But I'm big on reading, and I think like the fact that you're incorporating this children like color and pop and play and all those stuff, and then you have a book that is intriguing to them, and now you know like some kids are there, it's like yay, so you're bringing back, because it's sad, but historically this, if you want to hide something from a black person, you put it in a book. Now we're taking the narrative and we're spinning it.
Yep.
Now we're putting, you're going to read, you're going to learn, you're going to be better, you're going to enjoy it. It's going to be for us by FUBU style.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's
FUBU style, yeah.
FUBU style. So I mean, it's just really great to know that as grown as I am, I have a 9-year-old, and the moment you said it, it just sent me back to, oh, I want to get her this book, because it's just, I used to be very happy reading, and I know that as much as they don't like it, but things that attract them, as we said, like your son sees himself in the character. So you imagine how many other kids, little girls and boys, see themselves in those characters.
Exactly.
And I saw on your page that you have things for girls and boys, and I mean, the mantra, the mantras, sorry, I stutter, so that you have where they say I am, these things, especially in our community, we need that right now, because the society is teaching us we're less than, but we have to come inside and say, hey, sorry, we're going to switch it up on you. So I mean, it's a beautiful combination, and it's like, and you're doing it with your son. Like, he's not going to know this until like he's 18. It's like, yo, I actually have a superhero dad.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm a superhero. I'm not gonna take credit, but like, it's one of those.
We'll say it. It's okay. You don't have to say it. We'll say it for you. Superman.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. It's one of those things where you do it and you hope that you're effective. You know what I mean? As much as like, I want to take accreditation for things like again, your circle, you know, the God himself, you know, and so like, I'm trying my best, because, you know, as what you were saying, going back, you know, television back in the day, entertainment back in the day, they always had a lesson. You remember, I don't know if you guys remember this, G.I. Joe, you know, G.I. Joe.
All day.
G.I. Joe, He-Man, all those shows. You can watch them fight each other, et cetera, but at the end of the show, they're teaching you a lesson.
Just story. This is what, sorry, tangent. I don't understand cartoons today, because we don't learn anything.
You don't learn anything.
Every single thing had a theme, a reason, and we learned.
The moral of the story at the end of the day is like, you should be good to your friends. It's like, yeah. You should. No, it's true. It's honestly, even the words that they used back then,
right.
Even the words, like the word, they never used the word kill. Yeah. Right? They use the word destroy. I'm gonna destroy him. They never destroyed the person, but they use the word. Sorry, but now kill, slap. And it's like, oh my goodness, right? So this narrative that's being created is desensitizing our children and having them think that it's okay for this and that and the above, and like, don't even get into the sexualization of children. You know what I mean? So it's these things that where it's like, okay, no, we need grandmama, you know, big mama, like big mama to be like, nah, not my child. Where you going in that outfit, you know? And she'll snatch you. she will snatch you, no problem. And like for men, I think our role has always been kind of a stoic, or the quiet, you know what I mean? But you know, if daddy gets involved, oh man, it's a problem. You know what I mean? It's a real problem. But we need more men at the front of the line now, I think, to kind of be that example for the next generation of men, to show them that it's okay to have emotions, it's okay to do the right thing. And if someone calls you a bum, it's like, okay, cool, you're right. It's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm a king by my own right, so you can't tell me nothing. We need to walk with that identity, that affirmation that I'm royalty. At the end of the day, I am royalty. Not to be arrogant about it, obviously, but to be respectful about it, and then teach them the lessons of being respectful and managing their own emotions and controlling their response, because not everything deserves your energy, not everything. And the best way to kind of handle certain situations is not to give them your energy, and it's going to get them even mad that you don't give them that energy. If you want to get someone mad, you just respond like, okay, you done? I got it. And they'll be mad. They'll be in your face. There's a situation where someone will get mad at me, and I'll just start laughing. I'm like, you can't be talking to me like that. But it's like, okay, you done? Okay, bye. Understand, like, you do have people in your life that care about you and love you. And if they do, they're not going to talk to you all kinds of crazy. And those that do, I mean, bye. It's not to say you just have to burn that bridge, but it's like, okay, do you want to talk about it or you want to yell about it? You know what I mean? Because nothing's going to get done this way. So it's just teaching that it's like, again, the foundation. We believe the children are our future. And, the way how, the flow of information and the things they see, oh my goodness, morality is lost. And it's so confusing. You know what I mean? It's so confusing. And I know we're on an open space here. It's so confusing where they don't know who they are, what they're doing. And then the people that are in charge of this don't know either, or are just following whatever whim that comes along, the new trend or something that comes along. And, the kid, the blind leading the blind kind of situation. So let's have a foundation. Let's have understanding. Right is right, wrong is wrong. Not hate. We're not spreading any type of form of hate. If we have a different perspective on something, let's try to understand one another's perspective. Not to say I'm not even going to follow your perspective. I'm not going to say I'm going to agree to your perspective, but I will listen to your perspective. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean I have to follow whatever it is, but I'll be respectful to a degree, again, pertaining to what it is. So it's stuff like that where, yeah, you don't always have to follow the trends. You don't have to do everything what everyone is doing. I think, being a Black man, writing a children's book, again, kind of sets that tone. Training to become a firefighter sets that tone, right? To show people that we're not just entertainers and fashion designers. We're also poets. We're hunters. We're engineers. We're innovators. We're kings and queens. Period. So, and it's walking with that.
Right, king.
Yeah.
That's right, lion.
Right.
We're not gonna call nobody dog no more. Right? We're lions now.
Yes. Yeah.
I love what I'm seeing, man. And just for the audience, once again, we're talking to Mr. Andre Wright. He's the author of Ryan Lion. You're looking at that right now. He, of course, his son is the co-author, Anthony Marcel, right? And I love the father and son tandem, the team, and doing stuff for as a Black man and for a community, man. And go out and get this book. He's on Instagram. That's Instagram you're looking at now. He's on Facebook. Are you on YouTube, Andre?
Oh, not yet. This is a funny video though. That one that you just played.
Yeah.
It's actually, it was a trend on Instagram or on TikTok. So it's like him fighting over the book.
He looks like a Power Ranger right now.
Oh my God, he loves his costumes.
Yeah.
Those things too, those little elements where I'll buy a $20 costume for my 8-year-old son and he'll wear it all day. And if he wants to go out wearing it, if the weather's appropriate, let him do it. Let him do it. He's not hurting anybody. People will walk up and just like, oh, we'll go to birthday parties. I think he wore that same costume too. We went to this birthday party of a friend of mine's, and it was like a ninja place. He was the only one dressed up in a costume, and she's like, "Oh, I should have thought of this." Like, yeah, let kids be kids, man. Let them utilize their imagination and live in that creative world realm. Yeah, so that's some of the stuff there. Right there, that's the father's kind of promise to their child.
Yeah.
And over there, this one is the Stand Together T-shirt. This is again for the George Floyd, the Breonna Taylor, the injustice that's going on.
Excellent.
See no evil. See no evil. Hear no evil.
And the afro.
It's funny.
They're just little things that just, aside from the content itself.
Yeah.
That's just excellent marketing there. I love it.
So go back up for 1 second. Not that one. Next one. This one was this is another trend that I decided to follow. How it started. So the first one, the amount of illustrations that I got, before. So it's like I could even gone even further. Some of them were like this one. I mean, where it's like it was a process to get the illustration because I could see Ryan in my head. I could see it. I could see him, and then I finally found an author or found an illustrator that I was able to do it and how it's going. It's like, oh, I can see this kid on television. I can see this guy built. I can see him everywhere. You know, becoming that household name. And even plush toys is one of the things. Another thing that we're working on that would be amazing to do. So yeah.
I just think it's cute.
So keep going to anyone else that's doing it. I mean, I know it's not easy sometimes, but keep going.
These are the authors.
Yeah.
Yes. Andre and Anthony. Great picture there, man. Great picture.
We took that picture.
Yes, sir. Oh.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, just we have a few minutes before we end, but you gotta shout out some people. You were doing that earlier, but for anybody that you want to give a shout out
to my support, right? To God be the glory, first and foremost. Shout out to my cousin Adam the Apprentice, who I'm telling you, he kicks my butt on a regular basis to make sure I get it done. If I don't get it done, he will hurt me. I'm pretty sure. He's my younger cousin, by the way.
Yep.
Shout out to all my supporters.
I know what that's like.
Yeah. Shout out to all my supporters, my people that as soon as I came out with the book, they were online buying it, and it was amazing. It's an amazing feeling. Shout out to, my grandparents, my mother, my family, my community, Rexdale, and of course a special shout out to my son, Anthony Marcel, Ralph Morrison Wright. Honestly, it wouldn't be possible without him because that guy keeps me going. He makes me a better person. You know what I mean? You have the father and you have the man, and it's the example that I want to set for him that wants me to be a better man as well. So in doing this, so I'm very honored and very privileged, and thank you to you guys as well on platforms like this that allow someone like me to kind of elaborate and go in better detail and share my story and share my story, like the entire story, not just the book, but my story, as both an author and as an individual. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, it's good to have you on. Like I said, we're happy to highlight individuals like you, and we love the drive, we love the initiative, we love the work. Go out there, folks, and snatch that book up, man. Let Andre know just how much you appreciate what he's done. And what we'll do whatever we can on our part, to make sure that folks are paying attention to your good work, man. Brother from the community, a brother from the block. No matter where you're from, no matter what your situation is, man, Andre is a perfect example of what we mean when we say, a diamond in the rough, or don't let your background determine your future. All of these things, man. This is a big deal, and that's why I'm bigging it up so much. A huge deal to me.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Brothers able to do this. You don't normally see our faces associated with things like this. We see ourselves associated with other things, usually negatives.
Yeah, usually negative. Exactly, 100%.
Yeah, man. But yeah. Well, I don't know, Lamar. Anything? Well, Lamar, you definitely in terms of reaching us and like an interview like this that we did with Andre. You can hit us up on Facebook, or our Facebook page, BlackBuzz. Correct, Lamar?
Yeah, BlackbuzzTO on Facebook, BlackbuzzTO on Instagram and YouTube.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah. So on YouTube, remember, you gotta subscribe and hit the notification bell, right? And you can see Andre's video up there, and any information that he shared with us and whatever links, it will be in there as well, so you can reach out and support.
Also, if it's hard to find the Instagrams or anything, go onto Facebook, and in the description there's a link tree. You press it, and all our social medias are on that. Yep.
Just want to say that for June month, which is Daddy's month, we need to bring him back. Okay.
Yes, yes,
Pick up all the fathers.
yes.
That is
I'm going for
black
that.
father is black. It's a rarity as already as it is. And
No, no, no. That's you're not saying it right. Big up all the mans them. That's what you get. Man there.
backers and steals is still in my blood. So all of the fathers, we're breaking that. We have to. This is
Yeah.
you are doing something that is amazing, and especially people always say kids who come from single parent homes and so single mom homes, we don't have the advantages, we don't have this, and then you are definitely growing up with your grandparents said that. You're showing that no matter where, as you said, how it started versus how it's going. It's all over, and I mean, you were just, it's just great. It's just absolutely great.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Black Buzz. This was amazing. This was amazing.
All right, folks. Next Monday we're on again, 2:00. Hit us up, of course. We will be sharing with you another guest, another.
I think he chipped out. So I'm gonna jump back in. Okay, he's here. Good. We didn't hear a word you said, KP.
What'd you say?
Oh, I was telling folks. Wow, sorry, the storm. Remember the storm? Yeah. So, but I was just saying, next Monday we're on again, 2:00. Just hit us up. All right.
All right.
Take care, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.